Welcome back everyone, this is the third episode of my Dragon Age Origins Hardcore 100% playthrough. Today hopefully we're gonna reach Flemeth's hut by completing the Tower of Ishal and finishing the Battle of Ostagar. As I promised, we're gonna level up. We can pick two skills. One is gonna be stealthy item use and the other one is gonna be dual weapon finesse. Stealthy item use is gonna allow us to chuck bombs at enemies from stealth, and dual weapon finesse is gonna give us 5 attack and 5 defense while wielding dual weapons. I'm also switching my short bow to a long bow because I think the separation tactic is gonna work better if we have more range. Now that Deveth and Jory are gone, their items are in our inventory, so we're just gonna sell them, and that way hopefully we're gonna have enough to buy the 2 bombs that we couldn't buy before.
Hello again. Is there something you need? Some supplies, perhaps? So long as you keep it quiet.
Got them. Definitely gonna need them.
Loghain, my decision is final. I will stand by the Grey Wardens in this assault.
You risk too much, Kalen. The Darkspawn Horde is too dangerous for you to be playing hero on the front lines.
If that's the case, perhaps we should wait for the Orlesian forces to join us after all.
I must repeat my protest to your fool notion that we need the Orlesians to defend ourselves.
It is not a fool notion. Our arguments with the Orlesians are a thing of the past, and you will remember who is king.
How fortunate Marek did not live to see his son ready to hand Ferelden over to those who enslaved us for a century.
Then our current forces will have to suffice, won't they? Duncan, are your men ready for battle?
They are, Your Majesty.
And this is the recruit I met earlier on the road? I understand congratulations are in order. Every Grey Warden is needed now. You should be honored to join their ranks.
Your fascination with glory and legends will be your undoing, Kalen. We must attend to reality.
Fine. Speak your strategy. The Grey Wardens and I draw the Darkspawn into charging our lines, and then?
You will alert the tower to light the beacon, signaling my men to charge from cover.
To flank the Darkspawn, I remember. This is the Tower of Ishal in the ruins, yes? Well, who shall light this beacon?
I have a few men stationed there. It's not a dangerous task, but it is vital.
Then we should send our best. Send Alistair and the new Grey Warden to make sure it's done.
We need the beacon. Without it, Loghain's men won't know when to charge.
You see? Glory for everyone.
You rely on these Grey Wardens too much. Is that truly wise?
Enough of your conspiracy theories, Loghain. Grey Wardens battle the Blight no matter where they're from.
Your Majesty, you should consider the possibility of the Archdemon appearing.
There have been no signs of any dragons in the wilds.
Isn't that what your men are here for, Duncan?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, the tower and its beacon are unnecessary. The
We
circle
will
of
not
Magi...
trust any lives to your spells, Mage. Save them for the Darkspawn.
Enough! This plan will suffice. The Grey Wardens will light the beacon.
Thank you, Loghain. I cannot wait for that glorious moment. The Grey Wardens battle beside the King of Ferelden to stem the tide of evil.
Yes, Kalen. A glorious moment for us all.
You heard the plan. You and Alistair will go to the Tower of Ishal and ensure the beacon is lit.
What? I won't be in the battle.
This is by the King's personal request, Alistair. If the beacon is not lit, Tern Loghain's men won't know when to charge.
So he needs 2 Grey Wardens standing up there holding the torch, just in case, right?
That is not your choice. If King Kalen wishes Grey Wardens to ensure the beacon is lit, then Grey Wardens will be there. We must do whatever it takes to destroy the Darkspawn, exciting or no.
I get it, I get it. Just so you know, if the King ever asks me to put on a dress and dance the Remigold, I'm drawing the line. Darkspawn or no. For you, maybe. But it has to be a pretty dress.
The tower is on the other side of the gorge from the king's camp, the way we came when we arrived. You'll need to cross the gorge and head through the gate and up to the tower entrance. From the top, you'll overlook the entire valley. I will be fighting beside the king with the rest of the Grey Wardens, again at his request. We will signal you when the time is right. Alistair will know what to look for.
We soil our drawers, that's what.
If it does, leave it to us. I want no heroics from either of you. Stay with the Terran's men and guard the tower. If you are needed, we will send word. Of course, even the best laid plans go awry. So do what you must. I trust you both.
Just not enough to actually fight with the rest of you.
There will be plenty of battles, Alistair. Be patient. Then I must join the others. From here, you two are on your own. Remember, you are both Grey Wardens. I expect you to be worthy of that title.
Duncan, may the Maker watch over you.
May he watch over us all.
So Alistair leveled up. I think it's best if we already start stacking his constitution. The plus 15 health is gonna be very useful for him here at the beginning. And we're also gonna pick up shield defense for him, so he can have better defense. But the real reason why I'm already investing in that tree is because I want to get to shield wall as fast as possible. Because shield wall gives plus 5 armor. And with shield expertise, Alistair is gonna be immune to knockdown while he's sustaining it, which is very useful for a tank. In terms of tactics, I haven't changed anything other than switching shield cover to shield defense.
The plan will work, Your Majesty.
Of course it will. The Blight ends here.
Let's cross the bridge and get to the Tower of Ishal.
you? The tower, it's been taken.
What are you talking about, man? Taken how?
The Darkspawn came up through the lower chambers. They're everywhere. Most of our men are dead.
Then we have to get to the beacon and light it ourselves.
So now we got the Tower Guard and the Circle Mage. The Tower Guard is better with ranged weapons because he has a lot of archery abilities, but he's still a warrior, so he's basically a buffed version of Deveth with better skills and a crossbow. So we're gonna make sure he uses all of his skills to bother the enemies. So whoever is attacking the main character, which is me, is gonna be pinned. Whoever is attacking Alistair is gonna get a shatter shot, which is gonna lower their armor and it has a chance to knock them down. And whoever is my target, he's gonna use a crippling shot on them, which is gonna apply a -10 penalty for both their defense and their attack. I manually activate rapid shot for him and his behavior is gonna be ranged. Naturally, with the Circle Mage, just like with Merrill, we're gonna activate flaming weapons and make sure he uses Arcane Bolt on anyone who's attacking me. And with his weakness spell, just like the Tower Guard, he's also gonna apply a -10 defense and -10 attack penalty on whoever I'm attacking. He's also gonna paralyze the elites and chuck a lightning at whoever is attacking Alistair. Lightning also damages stamina, so it's very effective against warriors to exhaust their stamina pool. That way they can't use their abilities to mess with Alistair. Naturally, the mage is also gonna be ranged.
Yes.
So we're gonna start the fight by switching to our bow and attacking the enemies from range. The NPCs are gonna provide excellent meat shield because even though they have low health, they can't fall until you start approaching them. A new armor for Alistair. It's actually lower tier than the one he already has, but this one is heavy instead of medium, so it still gives more armor. And we're also gonna make sure he has a bow on switch. As you can see, the mage paralyzed the elite, preventing it to cause any real damage on us. I usually set up my team like this so that the mage always puts a disabling skill on the elite. That way, most of the time, we don't even have to worry about the elites during the fights. The upcoming segment is gonna be the first place where I'm actually gonna use the stealth bombing technique. Hopefully we're gonna be able to take down the Genlock emissary without being revealed. But one thing is for sure, we can't keep the same tactic with the mage. Because if we fail and the emissary does survive, we don't want the mage to just start hounding the emissary so that he can put the paralyze spell on him, because it's an elite. That would just make him rush into melee range, because he's gonna look for line of sight on the target, and he doesn't have that since we have a lot of obstacles in our way. So let's switch that to whoever is attacking me is gonna get paralyzed. Also, I'm trying to use the same tactic I used when we met the first emissary with Merrill and Fenrel. So I shove my team into the corner so that we can surprise the group of Darkspawn with a DPS dump after I kill the emissary and lure them here. I'm also quickly activating this trap here so that it can go away by the time we're gonna pass through here. Grease traps, once triggered, they have a set duration, and after that they're just gonna disappear. So I figured it's best if we just trigger it in stealth, because it's not gonna flush us out of stealth, so that later on it won't be in the way anymore. When you're using stealth bombing, make sure you stay out of the radius of the explosion, which is by the way not accurately represented by the little indicator. So the best thing to do is just run far away from the emissary and then just let your character's AI move in to the throw range of your character, and that way you can always throw from maximum range. I decided to quickly finish off the emissary with a riposte because number one, I didn't want to throw another bomb, and number two, sometimes when he gets that close to you, he's just gonna start to attempt an auto attack, and since his staff can't miss, it would flush me out of stealth in front of those archers, so I figured the best thing to do is just get rid of him fast. So this next segment is gonna require a little bit of preparation, because we have a lot of Darkspawn in the rooms next to us. And if we just go there with the team, when we open a door, the Darkspawn from the other room are gonna start flanking us. So I'm setting up the mage and the archer in a way that they have a line of sight on the door, so that they can attack immediately whoever comes out of that door from range. I also move Alistair a little bit closer to the door so that he would be the primary target of whoever comes out of that door, because he's the tankiest of the team. And of course my role is gonna be to try to help the team taking down the enemies as fast as possible. So I'm gonna approach them while I'm in stealth, so that they won't immediately swarm me. I'm gonna open the right side door. That's gonna make sure that the Darkspawn from the left side are gonna immediately rush out, and hopefully they're gonna immediately target Alistair. Hopefully. Darkspawn? So it didn't work. My mistake was that I placed Alistair too far from the door. So I revealed myself from stealth so that I could lure them in. They never actually saw Alistair. And now they are charging my mage. Amazing. Thankfully we have plenty of damage and disabling skills to shift aggro and keep the mage safe. But this just shows how the best laid plans can go wrong if you make a tiny mistake.
And I'm off. Going. Yes. More darkspawn, hey?
That's a lot of blood.
Never any shortage of these ones.
Take that!
And I'm off.
Maker's breath. What are these darkspawn doing ahead of the rest of the horde? There wasn't supposed to be any resistance here. Hey, you're right. I guess there is a silver lining here if you think about it. At any rate, we need to hurry. We need to get up to the top of the tower and light the signal fire in time. Cairn Logain will be waiting for the signal.
The first part of this level is relatively easy, so I think I'm gonna do some solo action here. The team would just be in the way. I'm just gonna use stealth and execute a few ambushes.
Another point for me. Yes.
At this section, as you can see, there are a lot of darkspawn here, but they don't have a whole lot of health, so I decided to use an acid flask on the archers at the back. The Darkspawn have a fair bit of nature resistance, so they will survive an acid flask. And since you're bombing from stealth, they're gonna move towards wherever the damage originated from, which then allows us to nuke 5 of them with a single soul rod bomb. Once the group is weakened like this, I'm just gonna call my team and we're gonna take them on together. Well, Alistair surely takes his sweet time. Maybe we should bump his cardio instead of his constitution.
And I'm off. Going. I'll send some darkspawn. I'm off. And I'm off.
Loghain better be ready to charge as soon as we light the signal. The king is depending on us.
Okay, so let's shove everyone into the corner again. And I think I already found a name for this tactic. I'm just gonna call it Peekaboo. Surprise! Happy Death Day, Genlocks.
going.
So behind this door we're gonna have a lot of Darkspawn and the Genlock Alpha. That guy is pretty good with the bow. He has multiple abilities like pinning shot and shattering shot. He can also switch to his double daggers and start dishing out damage with melee. But we're also gonna have a lot of help. So first I'm putting the team into cover. And then I'm gonna enter stealth, open the door, and just run to the switch. The switch is gonna release 3 dogs who are gonna be very helpful in this fight. But if you want the doggies to survive, you better make sure you get the alpha's attention a few times, even disable it. Otherwise he can deal so much damage that he can actually kill a dog, which is definitely not something I want. Especially since if all 3 of them survive this initial fight, the rest of the level is gonna be a joke. Very nice. Let's let the doggies regenerate. I position my team here at the back because I want to use the doggies as tank and damage. They're good for both. I'm gonna activate stealth, open the door, and trigger the darkspawn so that the doggies will be the primary targets. And now we can just let our team join the fun. Since the rest of this level is a joke, I think I will already start talking about my strategy when it comes to the ogre. So let me just say this. If we would be mages, we would have more options, but we're not. So frankly, I don't think there's any other way to beat the ogre as a warrior or as a rogue if we want to keep this challenge intact, other than pure aggro management. I consider aggro management to be a perfectly valid tactic. It might not be the most exciting tactic, but it's certainly valid in my opinion. It's basically what you do when you play as a tank. So what we're gonna do is remove all possible aggro from our companions by removing their armor, disabling their tactics, and immediately placing them at a distance. This way when we start rushing at the ogre, he's gonna look at us as the primary target. So we're gonna take the initial aggro, which we can use to make him follow us. Now once the ogre follows you, all you have to do is just keep the aggro on you and let the team engage with their ranged weapon and slowly chip away at his health. Now even with this tactic there are a lot of things that can go wrong. The ogre can grab us, the ogre can shift the aggro, so we're just gonna have to make sure that we're gonna do everything precisely. We're only gonna have one shot at this, so literally nothing can go wrong. Okay, so I crashed. Somehow I knew that I just can't be that lucky that I can play this whole segment without a crash, but yep, the ogre, as usual, decided to throw a boulder because I was foolish enough to move too far away from it, so it threw a boulder, and that animation always crashes my game. So as much as I hate it, I had to reload the autosave that was taken directly before the fight, so that I can have the pleasure to fight this beast again. But as you can see, the tactic works great. The ogre follows you and he does take damage from the team. The only thing I need to focus on is to keep the aggro on me, because eventually, once the ogre takes enough damage, it's gonna start focusing on the one who dealt the most, which is gonna be the mage, because the mage has the staff, and the staff cannot miss, unlike Alistair or the tower guard. It also has a massive armor penetration, so he deals by far the most damage on the ogre. So to prevent the aggro from shifting to the mage, we just have to smack the ogre every now and then with a flask, and that way the aggro will stay on us. If we would be warriors, we would just use taunt. Otherwise, with this tactic, this fight is not even difficult at all. As you can see, we can do it without taking any health damage.
Yes!
The beacon is over here. You've surely missed the signal. Let's light it quickly before it's too late.
Well, you might want to dress up first, Alistair.
Yes.
Nope, he can't equip it yet. I always give him this shield after the ogre fight, because my first 3 attribute for him is always strength, but not in this playthrough. Let's quickly loot the barrels. One has a gift. And let's light that signal.
Sound the retreat.
What about the king? Should we not...
Do as I command.
Pull out! All of you, let's move! Your eyes finally open. Mother shall be pleased. I am Morrigan, lest you have forgotten, and we are in the wilds where I am bandaging your wounds. You are welcome, by the way. How does your memory fare? Do you remember Mother's rescue? The man who was to respond to your signal quit the field. The Darkspawn won your battle. Those he abandoned were massacred. Your friend, he is not taking it well. All dead. Your friend has veered between denial and grief since Mother told him. He is outside by the fire. Mother asked to see you when you awoke. Yes, but I expect you shall be fine. The Darkspawn did nothing Mother could not heal. I will stay and make something to eat.
See, here is your fellow Grey Warden. You worry too much, young man.
You're alive. I thought you were dead for sure. Oh, this doesn't seem real. If it weren't for Morrigan's mother, we'd be dead on top of that tower.
Do not talk about me as if I am not present, lad.
I didn't mean... But what do we call you? You've never told us your name?
Names are pretty, but useless. The chastened folk call me Flemeth. I suppose it will do.
The Flemeth? From the legends? Daveth was right. You're the Witch of the Wilds, aren't you?
And what does that mean? I know a bit of magic, and it has served you both well, has it not? Well, we cannot have all the Grey Wardens dying at once, can we? Someone has to deal with these Darkspawn. It has always been the Grey Warden's duty to unite the lands against the Blight. Or did that change when I wasn't looking?
But we were fighting the Darkspawn. The king had nearly defeated them. Why would Loghain do this?
Now that is a good question. Men's hearts hold shadows darker than any tainted creature. Perhaps he believes the Blight is an army he can outmaneuver. Perhaps he does not see that the evil behind it is the true threat.
The Archdemon. By ourselves? No Grey Warden has ever defeated a Blight without the army of a half-dozen nations at his back. Not to mention... I don't know how.
How to kill the Archdemon, or how to raise an army? It seems to me those are two different questions, Have the Wardens no allies these days?
I don't know. Duncan said that the Grey Wardens of Orlais had been called, and Al Eamon would never stand for this, surely. I suppose. Al Eamon wasn't at Ostagar. He still has all his men. And he was Kaelin's uncle. I know him. He's a good man, respected in the Landsmeet. Of course, we could go to Redcliffe and appeal to him for help. Of course! The treaties. Grey Wardens can demand aid from dwarves, elves, mages, and other places. They're obligated to help us during a blight.
I may be old, but dwarves, elves, mages, this Arl Eamon, and who knows what else. This sounds like an army to me.
So can we do this? Go to Redcliffe and these other places and build an army?
Take one step at a time, but it is not so bad to know where those steps will lead you, yes?
It's always been the Grey Warden's duty to stand against the Blight. And right now, we're the Grey Wardens.
So you are set then, ready to be Grey Wardens. Now that you mention it, I do have one more thing to offer.
The stew is bubbling, Mother dear. Shall we have 2 guests for the eve, or none?
The Grey Wardens are leaving shortly, girl. And you will be joining them.
Such a shame. What?
You heard me, girl. The last time I looked, you had ears.
Have I no say in this?
You have been itching to get out of the wilds for years. Here is your chance. As for you, Wardens, consider this repayment for your lives.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but won't this add to our problems? Out of the wilds, she's an apostate.
If you do not wish help from us illegal mages, young man, perhaps I should have left you on that tower.
Point taken.
Mother, this is not how I wanted this. I'm not even ready.
You must be ready. Alone, these two must unite for Ferelden against the Darkspawn. They need you, Morrigan. Without you, they will surely fail, and all will perish under the Blight. Even I
understand.
And you, Wardens, do you understand? I give you that which I value above all in this world. I do this because you must succeed.
Allow me to get my things, if you please. I am at your disposal, Grey Wardens. I suggest a village north of the wilds as our first destination. It is not far, and you will find much you need there. Or, if you prefer, I shall simply be your silent guide. The choice is yours.
Haha, you will regret saying that.
Dear, sweet mother, you are so kind to cast me out like this. How fondly I shall remember this moment.
Well, I always said, if you want something done, do it yourself. Or hear about it for a decade or two afterwards.
Do you really want to take her along because her mother says so? I guess you're right. The Grey Wardens have always taken allies where they could find them.
I am so pleased to have your approval. Farewell, Mother. Do not forget the stew on the fire. I would hate to return to a burned-down hut.
Bah! 'Tis far more likely you will return to see this entire area, along with my hut, swallowed up by the Blight.
All I meant was...
Yes, I know. Do try to have fun, dear. Have you not left yet? I hope you are not hanging about for some stew. Questions, questions. One would think a Grey Warden would be more interested in action. About the Darkspawn? Then hear this. I laugh at a world full of stupid humans who ignore the Blight's evil and abandon their vigilance to chase mortal goals. Remember, it is up to you to destroy the Blight. Pray not for someone else to destroy it. It will always nip at your heels. Then we are done. Now, if you will excuse me, I have some dinner to eat.
Oh, that's okay. We're also busy. We have to visit the party camp the first time. So, we managed to reach the party camp. I think this episode was pretty intense. And even though it would have been nice to avoid that crash with the ogre, we still managed to get through it without violating the hardcore 100% challenge. But that hurl animation actually has me worried a lot. We have to make sure that we always interrupt it whenever we face an ogre. Sadly, ogres are all over the place, including both the Fade and the Siege of Denerim, both of which are gonna be very long segments where we can't save. But I guess we worry about it when we get there. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will create a hard save here, and I hope we see each other in Lothering.